Hey guys, MrBoss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, we're going to be talking about another weird change that Rockstar has seemingly made in Grand Theft Auto Online to either prepare for something coming in the future, like for the expanded and enhanced version that will release in 2021 on PS5 and Xbox Series X, or something we see later this year and the biggest Grand Theft Auto Online update ever. We're going to be hearing from Rockstar Games insider TezFunds2, who's going to be telling us all about this, what to expect, and a whole lot more. So the other day he posted this. He said, I noticed new variables added to the scripts that handle missions, adversary modes, and such. Two variables were added to the actor/NPCs category that allows them to set any kind of animation on the actors, but in a configurable manner, as it serves as an option in the creator mode to pick one animation out of the vast majority of animations available. That's worth noting. It is said variables weren't used for the new yacht missions, which leads me to think that these variables are reserved for the next update, the new Heist. In addition to that, a whole new category of variable was added called interactables, which deals with objects or props, presumably configured to allow the devs to pick an object and appoint it as an interactable object. Again, same deal as the previous variables, weren't used for any of the new missions added with the recent update. Now, I'm a bit confused as to what the necessity of all this is, mostly because I believe we already have some of that functionality, but in a more or less scripted manner. Regardless, I could think of one reason which may explain this. That is the new Heist too big to be handled in a script or hard-coded form? I mean, obviously Rockstar calls it the biggest ever update. That aligns well with the reasoning I came up with. This new soft-coded functionality may give them flexibility to deal with too many NPCs or actors, mainly for the ones of little importance, such as partygoers and others who we may encounter in the new Heist. And then as an edit, he said, as for the interactables part, I would apply the same logic as the one I had for NPCs, a vast space to stuff in with a range of interactable objects. Okay, so I know that was a lot to take in, and I know it talked about some of the coding of Grand Theft Auto Online, but it looks like in this update, one of its main purposes might have just been for Rockstar to add some of the things they needed into the game before the biggest Heist update ever arrives later this year. And this isn't totally uncommon of them. We've seen this in the past where certain little things are added in previous updates that are then applied to the ones that are following. Like we saw that with gun running, we saw that with Smuggler's Run. But in this instance, it's less obvious. It's not necessarily like an icon that we see on the map or anything like that. So now that you kind of understand that, let's talk about how Rockstar could ultimately use that. And if we're going to assume that this is for the new Heist update later this year, it kind of sounds like they're just making the Heist missions a little bit more exciting, whether that involves the NPCs or the characters we have there, whether that's the objectives that we have. Because right now, kind of the way it works is you like pick up object and you bring object to a certain location. But what if there was like other objectives along the way that were a bit more complex, or at least a bit different or interesting? That would be pretty cool if Rockstar could focus on that. Now, again, this Grand Theft Auto Online was created for the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions back in 2013. And yes, they have had upgrades along the way, but it's running on the same Rage engine. And so Rockstar might be a little bit limited, honestly, in what they could do. But this is going to be interesting to follow. If insiders like TezFunds2 can figure out a bit more what's going on here, it'll be super cool to see like if they can nail down what exactly this line of code and stuff is for. Now, there was definitely a bit of follow-up to that. One user ended up asking, so basically some objects will be interactable on their own rather than having one or a few scripts handling everything. Maybe this allows for more choices to be made by the player rather than just following a linear story. And TezFunds2 said, not quite. The interactables part is a new category added to the hidden/developer creator mode. It has several options that would define the interactable objects. It still has to be scripted in some way or shape, but this could give them a fixed set of scripted materials to select for one object or two. It's a weird move for them to commit now, but it would make sense if you see it as a way to cover up the vast space of the new location with enough interactables to scale up the story and fill it with side elements. So interesting that this might not necessarily be a part of the Heist, or at least it could be, but maybe it's more for the new location itself, which we still don't know what aspect of the new location we're going to be getting. Is it just a new property on the map? Is it some sort of island expansion, but still in Los Santos and San Andreas? is going to be something completely off the grid like North Yankton, Liberty City, Vice City. As far-fetched as that sound, that would be super cool. So again, going to be really fun to see how Rockstar ultimately handle this, and if we're able to dive more into the lines of code that figure out what exactly this is going to be used for. Now again, more follow-up to that. Another user asked advanced interactions for NPCs, so maybe a solo heist with bots, which is interesting because we've never had a solo heist before. And he said the interactables part is for objects, not NPCs. So think security panels, keypads, and such. So unfortunately, it looks like our dream of a solo heist with AI teammates might be a foregone conclusion that that's not going to happen. Number one, Rockstar just loves teamwork in general. Like, they're obsessed with that. They love making us do things in public lobbies with 2 to 4 players. So I don't know if we'll ever get a solo heist, even though that'd be super fun. But it looks like it's more for objects. So again, security panels, keypads, things that you would see on like an actual heist mission. Now again, some more follow-up to that. We heard from a user, Rolsha2282, who said, could it be that it can be used just to have the ability to place keypads wherever they want instead of having to script that position? Like, technically have a keypad positions be different on retries of a heist. Or maybe have the ability to unlock blocked doors that would be like the cart that blocks that one door sometimes, but having the ability to move it. And TezFunds2 says, I think it's an easy solution to set up mini keypads or security panels in the way, just to save up time and the trouble of dealing with a quantity of keypads. Keep in mind, the new location is being designed with respect to the new heist. It's more likely they would provide us with many ways to approaching the heist. So I think it's almost going to be a more complex or at least customizable version of the casino heist, where you not only choose your setup, the way you go about doing it, the reward you have. Rockstar is going to completely build this from the ground up, and that's really exciting. And I hope there is aspects where you can like go off the beaten path and do the heist your own way, or at least uncover new trials in which you can get it done. Again, I don't know how these new scripts are going to work, but at least it sounds like Rockstar's trying to make this extremely interesting, at least more varied than the casino heist. And last but not least, if you guys are wondering where you can potentially find them yourself, that's where someone literally asked where this stuff was. TezFunds2 says the standard list is found in the scripts, specifically the casino script. However, the new list that Rockstar follows for the upcoming vehicles is in the background script. This one is in the latest version. You have to download OpenIV, extract the script, and download it using any kind of compiler like this one. So that's how guys like TezFunds2 end up finding out stuff like this. It's something that I personally cannot do. Maybe you guys will be able to tackle something like that. But for now, that is everything that we are going to be discussing in this video today. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think Rockstar is up to here with these new lines of code. Do you think it's for the new heist? Do you think it's for something else altogether? Let me know what you're thinking in those comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new, or you want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and Red Dead Redemption videos that I'm doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.